Good morning, everybody. Gonna try out to see if I can teach this way with the embedded webcam. I'm basically just gonna go over scene 5, which comes after, follows scene 4, where Macbeth has just been told that he is going to be Thane of Cawdor. Um, as a result, he is pretty excited about this news, and so he writes a letter to Lady Macbeth, which we now see her reading at the start of this scene. Now, this is the first time we're meeting Lady Macbeth. So as we read, I want you to think about what type of person she is. Um, she's going to become a very integral character throughout this play. So let's get started, okay? Scene 5. Enter Macbeth's wife. She's alone in Inverness with a letter. Lady Macbeth, reading the letter, says, "They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves into air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me and referred me to the coming on of time, with Hail, King, that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightest not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell." Now, at this point, Lady Macbeth will have put down this letter where she is just basically caught up to speed on what is going on with Macbeth. He is on his way home to her. So she puts down the letter and then she continues and she says, "Glams thou art and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way." Now, this part is pretty important, right? So she is expressing her concern that he is not basically evil enough. He is too filled with kindness to catch the nearest way. As we all know, the nearest way would be murder. So she also is already thinking, all right, let's commit murder here. Let's kill this king, who is, mind you, also Macbeth's cousin. Let's continue. So, line 28. "Thou wouldest be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it." So here she continues and she says that thou wouldest be great because he has ambition, but he doesn't have what it would take in order to commit murder. "What thou wouldest highly, thou wouldest thou holily, wouldest not play false, and yet wouldest wrongly win. Thou have great glance, that which cries, thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do, than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round." So these lines start to develop her character a little more. "Hie thee hither," she says. Come home, okay? Get yourself here. And why does she say this? Because she wants to pour her spirits in his ear. In other words, she wants to chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round. She wants to yell at everything that is preventing him, impeding him from the crown, and that is his weakness. According to Lady Macbeth, you and I might argue that that is his conscience and his goodness. Lady Macbeth here is not saying that same thing. So she says, "And chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal." Talking about the witches there. Now suddenly a messenger enters. "What is your tidings?" she says to him. "The king comes here tonight." "Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, were it so, would have informed for preparation?" So she's kind of like, you've got to be kidding me. The king is coming here. Now, why would she be interested in the king's arrival at her castle? Well, this makes her plan to kill him that much easier. And so obviously the messenger doesn't know her thoughts here, but he says, so please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message. Lady Macbeth responds, give him tending. Now, as soon as this messenger leaves, Lady Macbeth is left alone with her thoughts for a very interesting soliloquy. So bear with me for the soliloquy. He brings great news. The messenger leaves. The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast, she says. Remember, who is she talking to? She's talking to the witches, the spirits here. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor cry peep through the blanket of the dark to hold, cry hold, hold. Now enter Macbeth. Little does he know what state his wife is in. Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both by the all-hail hereafter, she says to her husband, thy letters have transported me beyond the ignorant present, and I now feel the future in this instant. Macbeth, my dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight. And Lady Macbeth says, and when goes hence? Macbeth, tomorrow, as he purposes. So when Lady Macbeth says, when is he leaving? Macbeth says he's going to leave tomorrow. Lady Macbeth then says, oh, never shall that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. These are very famous lines. She's telling Macbeth to bear welcome in your eye, to look like the innocent flower, but to be the serpent underneath it, right? So she's telling him to look and be welcoming, but underneath it, harbor that evil that will ultimately allow him to kill his cousin. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom. Lady Macbeth is thinking that, listen, the rest of our lives are going to be wonderful because of our power that we will gain in killing the king. Macbeth does not give a clear response. He only says, we will speak further. Lady Macbeth, in response to that, says, only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me. So she says, let me deal with this. Okay? Tells us a lot about her character at the start of this play, since this is only Act 1 and this is the first time we see her. Okay, signing off now. Bye. I don't know how to stop.